Okay, so in today class, we will learn about Linux file system hierarchy and structure. All right, so let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So in today class, we will just do a deep understanding about the file system of Linux. All right, how it hierarchy you can see and what kind of use you have for each and every directory you will find inside the slash. Right. So the file system hierarchy define the directory structure and directory content in Unix-like operating system, right? It is mentioned in Linux Foundation, all right? In FHS, all file and directory appear under the root directory. So there are two things with the name of root. One is root user and one is root directory, means file system, right? So when you talk about slash, that slash means it's a root, means each and every file system will come after this slash only, right? So the first slash, call it a root, right? And one root is there that is called a user root and root home directory. Okay.
Okay.
So most of these directory exist in the Unix and Linux operating systems. All right. So the first one, slash. The slash one is the root directory of the entire file system hierarchy. Every single file and directory start from root directory, which is slash, right? So by default, only root user has the right to write under this directory, right? Means only root can just create directory, delete, or do any modification on this directory slash. Okay. Make sure
Okay.
don't confuse with the root and root user slash, right? Means a root file system and root user meant slash root, right? So if
Okay.
slash root means there is a directory with the name of root also, where on slash. So slash root is the home directory of root user. Okay, like
Okay.
this. So when you will have a graphical mode, so when you will open that graphical mode, you will see slash, right? In your system,
Mm-hmm.
you have already installed the graphical mode. We will, after this PPT, we'll go on the file system and we'll see each and every directory in the practically. All right. But when you'll open your file system, right, you will get slash. See here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slash directory. Inside this slash, you will get all this directory, which is bin, boot, dev, etc, home, like this. Okay.
Okay.
The second one is the slash bin. Slash bin, essential command binary that need to be available in single user mode. Means all these command will be available on the single user mode, and all user like cat, ls, and cp. All these command is stored in the slash bin directory, right? Content binary executable. Binary executable means that command, right? Just like yesterday we practiced some command, right? ls, cp, all this is a binary. It's called binary executable, right? This
Mm-hmm.
command in the Linux. All command is stored in this directory, which you need to use in the single user mode are located under this directory. Okay, like this. So when you will open slash bin directory graphically, you will see file inside this directory like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without extensions, right? If you will see any file without extension, means that is a command. Okay. So
Okay.
third directory is slash boot. So slash boot store a bootloader. Bootloader means when you install your system, all right, inside slash, your kernel will start, right? Will store inside slash boot directory. Means if you will delete any file, just like a kernel file from boot directory, you will not able to boot your system, right? So all the kernel install means you can say simply related to boot. When you start the system, it's boot, right? So boot related information saved inside the slash boot folder. Okay, like this. So see here you are able to see VM lineage, right? And then system map, init rmfs, all this is a related to kernel. And slash dev. Slash dev store essential device like dev null and or any hard disks which you will connect, right? Just like your hard disks, your DVD, your pen drive, anything you will connect, you will locate that inside that dev. Means
Okay.
okay, like this. And etc. etc store all the configuration files. Means whatever program you have installed in your system, that will have one configuration. All right. So all the configuration related files you will find inside slash etc directory, right? So this is the directory where you will store by default. By default, you will store all configuration related things inside this folder only, right? Like for example, like etcresolve.conf, httpd.conf, etc passwd, all these things you will find inside the etc folder, means all configuration, right? So when you will just like go for the interview, they can ask what is the configuration location, right, for Linux. So you can simply say all configuration is stored inside that slash etc directory, right?
Okay.
Okay. Slash home. So slash home is a default directory which contains user home directories, right? Means whenever you will create any user in Linux system, by default, their home directory will be created inside slash home directory, like with the same name which you will have a username, right? By default. If you will not change, it will take the same name. Just like, for example, I have created a user Nirmal or NKS. So it's created two folder inside slash home, right? See here,
Mm-hmm.
slash home Nirmal slash home NKS, right? So these two are the users like this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for every user, you will have one directory inside slash home by default, right?
Okay.
Lib. Slash lib is a library essential. Library essential means when you install any just like a driver or any software, it's required a library to run that software. So all library related SO file or LD, just like a library related SO files, you will find inside slash lib folders. Okay, and slash media. So you will find one folder directory inside slash called media. So media is the removable media such as DVD ROM, pen drive, or external hard disks and others. Means whenever you will connect any external device, right, disk device like DVD ROM, CD ROM, pen drive, or any USB hard disk, when you will connect it, it will mount under slash media. So temporarily mount directory for removable drive. So the by default it will mount inside this, right? Like this here. So when you will attach, it will create inside media, it will create one username from which user you will try to mount your directory, means pen drive or anything, right? And under that directory, it will just mount your device. So you can check by attaching any pen drive in your system, you can find it. And slash mnt. So slash mnt is the temporary mount directory where system admin can mount file system. Means by default this directory is a blank directory. So when you will do installation and when you will complete it, this folder will be in blank, right? Nothing you will see inside this folder. All right. So this
Mm-hmm.
folder always will be a blank by default. When you will mount something on this, then you can use it. Otherwise, it's a blank directory for extra, you can say a temporary mount point, just like let's suppose you are working as an administrator and you need a hard disk, right? So what you can do, you can mount that hard disk inside this MNT folder, and you can complete your work, and later on you can unmount it. Okay, you can remove that hard disk.
Okay.
Okay. Next, OPT. OPT is an optional application software package, right? Means some software is there, right? Just like XAMPP, or you can say any third party software. So when you download any third party software, so most of the software use this slash OPT folder as a default, right? Default location for their package. So if you will install any third party software, it will go inside this OPT folder. It's not mandatory, but the default path they assign slash OPT. But you will have an option during the installation. You can change it according to you if required. Otherwise, you can leave on the default location. Content add-on application for individual vendor like Bitnami, right? I told you XAMPP, right? Like XAMPP or any other softwares, right? Like this. So when you will install, you will see one XAMPP folder inside this OPT folder. SBIN, right? So the SBIN file system, right? This is related to a executable file that can be run by the administrator. Means you can say system binaries. System binaries means only super user can run that commands. Which command is stored inside this SBIN, right? So don't confuse with a bin and SBIN. Bin is the, if you will have any command inside bin directory, all user can run that command. But if you will have any direct file or binaries inside that slash bin directory, only super user or system can call that binaries. Okay, like this. Like yesterday, you remember yesterday we run appdisk, right? Appdisk command. So that appdisk command can be run through the uh, server administrator only. Okay, like just like bin and sbin also store binary executable, right? The Linux command located under this directory are used typically by the system administrator for system maintenance purpose, right? Means all the command which is stored inside this directory that can be used for the maintenance purpose, and that can be run through the administrator. Okay, administrator means either super user or either root, right? Like example, IP table, reboot, appdisk, if config, swap on etc. Okay, so SRV is a site-specific data served by the system, such as data and script for web server, right? Data offered by FTP server and repository for the version control. So simply, you can save here some specific data if you want, right? Next, TMP folders. So TMP folder store temporary files created by the system and user. File under this directory are deleted when older than 30 days. Let's suppose when you browse, right? So when you browse any content or on internet or do any task, right?
Yeah.
During that task, some temporary files will be created in your system. So that temporary files can be created inside slash tmp folder. So if you not delete that folders manually, file or folder, automatically it's got deleted after 30 days, right?
Okay.
It will automatically clean, and you can also modify it if you want to clean it on daily basis or on reboot, right? That's in your hand. Means you can modify if you want to customize, or you want to achieve it by another, rules, right? Like 7 days only. You don't want to keep temporary file inside tmp directory more than 7 days. That then you can configure it.
Okay.
Next, all right, slash USR directory. So it stores secondary hierarchy for read-only users data, content, majority, multi-user, utility, and application. Slash USR slash bin store binary for user program. If you can't find user binary under slash bin, look under USR bin. Means this directory also store some executable, right? If you're trying to find some command on the slash bin, if it is not there, you can search it in the USR bin, right? Just like AWK, CC, less, SCP, all this command is stored inside slash USR bins. USR means user bin, right? People also call user to USR. USR bin, USR lib store library for USR bin and USR S bin. USR local store user program that install from source. USR SRC hold the Linux kernel sources, header file, and documentation. All right. So you will see when you will open, you will see like this, like this. All right. So these are in the graphical mode. That's why you are able to see. But same thing, if you want, you can see on the, on terminal also. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now proc. So proc is the virtual file system providing process and kernel information as files in Linux. Store all information about system process, right? This is a virtual file system which takes information about all system resources, right? For example, slash proc slash uptime slash proc slash CPU info means it's process related things you will find inside proc, right?
Yeah.
Directory. So all this is a directories. All right. So what you have to do, you can just simply, all right, you can see all directory and hierarchy inside this directory. So let me share my screen and you see that directory on server, the same server which we access. So you can see like here also. So I have also installed the graphical mode. So let me explain the same thing what we see in the PPT, right? So you can see that here also. Okay.
Okay.
First one, just like we talk about the first directory called root. So how you can access? So this is the graphical mode. So you have to go in the activity. Here you are able to see the files, right? So once you will open this and you have to click on. So by default, see, when you will open, by default, what it will do? It will show you the home directory, means the user home directory, right? So here you are able to see the location called home, right? New folder, terminal, properties. But when you will click on other location, you will see the computer. Like the computer means that root. See here, you are not able to see anything. So if you will press Control L from your keyboard, you will see this, right? See here, this is called root. This slash called root. So inside this root, you have directory called root, right? See this one. So this one is a root user, right? And this one, let me do one thing. Let me log out and log in with root user. Otherwise, you will not see the proper, you will not see the proper user. Log in with another user. Not listed, username root. So you have to access this graphical mode with root so that you will not get any permission error by browsing any directory to understand, right? So as I have logged in this first time, right? So that's why it's showing like this. Okay, start it. Okay, so files, system, Control L. So see here, when I open that computer, so here you can see slash. So this root directory, see, you are able to see one icon, home icon inside this, right? Means
Mm-hmm.
this is the home directory for root user, right? So don't confuse with this one. So see, once you will click this, you will see the directory called slash root, right? This
Yeah.
root user home directory, and this root is a file system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is a root user, and then bin, right? So inside this bin, see, inside this bin, you will find this commands, like just like alias. So all this is a command. All the executable, right? This one, bg, batch, all this is a means all the file which is available without any extension. You understand extension? Extension means any file inside the in the last, if any name like .py. So this file is a Python extension. All right. So if you get any file with the name of any name and without any extension, so most probably that will be a command or executables, right?
I didn't get that part.
Yeah, this one.
The extension.
Yeah, extension is not there, right? So means that is the command, but this one is also right. So you can see, basically you can understand all the commands. See, you run the cd command yesterday, right? This cd
Mm-hmm.
command is stored here also, right?
Yes,
So
I mean the explanation that you gave for the extension,
mhm.
I didn't get it.
Oh, extension is like file system extension, just like if you run any software, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you run any software, that software should have one extension, just like .txt. .txt, what is the extension for .txt? It's a text file extension. At the same time, Word, MS Word. So MS Word will have extension called, right, Word, right?
Mm-hmm.
DOCX, docs. This is the extension of Microsoft Word. Just like for PDF, you will have extension .pdf, right? Any file
Okay.
will have, and that file will have extension, and that extension indicate the actually software name or software. You can say it's a simply you can say any software that run and that can store in the extension. So you can check, oh, what is this? Means this is the extension, all right? So
Okay.
extension in the any file you will get in the last, and that will start but with dot, right?
Okay.
So slash bin, and if we'll go here again, you will get the boot, right? So the boot is here. See, the config file is there, grub is there, init rm fs is there, and all this is boot related information. Means when your system will start, first it will go inside this directory and it will check all the information, correct information is there or not, bootloader is installed or not, grub is installed or not, all these things it will see inside slash boot directory. Okay.
Okay.
So next, you have deo folder here. You can see here where is the deo, right? So this deo folder is stored, right? Device essential means all the hard disks. If I open here a terminal, right? So and I run this command. So see, all this device will store inside where? Inside dev fdisk space hyphen l. If you run fdisk space hyphen l, see what is the address of this slash dev slash sda. This is the hard disk, and slash dev mapper means all the device. Once you will store all the device, it will you can find that device inside slash dev,
Yeah.
right? So the same type here, if we say ls slash, so slash means root. So inside this slash, see all this file is there, right? Bin,
Mm-hmm.
dev, home MNT like this. See, like this. All this we are accessing from the graphical mode. But if you will not have a graphical mode, you will have this command line ls slash. So this is bin, this is deo, right? So if you will ls slash bin folder, what you will see? See all the green color icon, right? All the green color, that is command. All green color, all this is a command. What we use in a daily basis. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So next, etc. etc is a configuration. It's related to configuration. Means all configuration will be stored inside this directory only. All right. Just like here in server, if you run etc slash etc, it will show you all the configuration related thing. All right. See all this configuration. Like if we talk SSH, SSH is a command, right? SSH is a command. But what configuration is there for SSH? So if let's suppose etc SSH and SSHD, right? So this file, where this file is stored? Inside etc only, right? This is the command. For this command, where is the configuration? This is the configuration file where you can do any modification according to your requirement. Okay. Slash home. See, let's go inside slash home and see. Here we have one folder. Admin means we have created one user called admin. So that admin user folder where is stored? Inside slash home folder, right? Slash home. See, inside slash home. So if we'll see the same thing on command line, let me increase that. Right. Okay. So if you run ls slash home, see, you will get this folder name, right? So this is admin folder, admin directory, where it is stored inside slash home. So from graphical, how will you see? You can go inside, let's suppose file system, computer, and then from computer, you can go inside slash home. So this is the home. If you do plus L, Control L, you will see the path, right? See, this is the path inside this directory. So let's suppose I'm going to create one user add, right? Cloud. See, once I created one user here, see, new user is created. And when I created that user, this directory is also created, right? So
Yeah.
by default, when you create any user, their home directory will be also created in the system. And that home directory default location is slash home. If you want to give any path manually, you can change it. But by default, it is available inside slash home only. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So next one is lib folder, right? So the lib folder where it's stored, this lib folder, see lib. So it's a library related, right? So library. So maybe you will not understand what is library and all, right? But you will understand later on when you will start working on the server side. So for now, you understand library is the required file and dependency to run a software, right? If I talk about in a typical language, to run a car, right? If you want to run a car, what will be the dependency? Can you run a car without their driver?
No.
No, right? So the driver, you can say, or library act as a drivers for that particular features. All right. So I know it's a very odd example, but to make you understand in a very simple manner, I give this example. Either fuel is also library for a car, and driver is also library for a car, right? So you have to, until and unless you will have both of them, you will not able to run that car, right?
Yeah.
So you can understand, to run any software, that software requires some libraries, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you will install a software, it will be stored inside this, just like inside Python. You will see all this is a, all right, libraries and all, right, here. Okay.
Okay.
Media, right? So when you mount any drive, let's suppose I'm going to mount a one drive. So I just switched it. Screen has stopped. Okay, let me share this again. So see, here I have shared, and now if you want to mount a directory, so let's go inside media folder where it is. Media, right? So media, inside this media, see, nothing is there. So I'm just going to mount one DVD inside this, in this directory. So let's see what will happen. Now I have attached or inserted one DVD. So see where it is, inside here. Let's see the location. See the media folder, right? So media. So this is a directory where it's stored. So in previous operating system, somehow sometime you that mount inside media, and in latest folders, means latest operating system, it will be stored in the media folder, right? So either you will find in run media, or either you will find inside media folder here. Either you will find in media, or either you will find inside run than media inside. So both are same, but you will find one of the places, right? Maybe here and there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So next is MNT folder. So when you will install a directory, means operating system, by default this MNT folder will be in empty, right? It will be empty directory. So let's suppose you have any hardware, or you just mounted anything, and you want to use this directory. So you mount your directory inside MNT folder, so that you don't have to create any directory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, when you will attach any hard disks, you will require one directory to mount it, right? So the by default Red Hat has given this /MNT folder as a temporary mount point folder. If you want mount it temporary, you can mount it. All right. Just like if I talk about here, I just remove this. So let's go on the terminal again and just run lsblk command. Once you will run this lsblk command, you will see some devices, right? Media devices, like, see, this is the hard disk. We have one hard disk. Inside this hard disk, we have multiple partitions, right? Just like Dev SDA, which is mounted on /boot, and second one is Dev SDA 2, and which is mounted on /, right? And again you have one device called SR0, which is, what size is this? 12.6 GB, and that is ROM. ROM means DVD. So let's suppose if I have to mount it completely. So understand,
Mm-hmm.
as we connected our DVD here, so that DVD got mounted automatically, right?
Yeah.
It's started showing content inside that. But same thing, when you will connect your DVD on command prompt, means if your OS don't have a graphical mode, right? And you will connect any media like DVD, pen drive, or anything, you will not see that mounted automatically. You have to mount it manually, right? So this
Mm-hmm.
is the same situation. So you have to connect, and after that you have to mount that media manually. So to mount that media, you have to run command mount space. What is the address of this SR? The address I told you, it is stored inside dev folder, right? Any external device, when you will connect, it will be stored inside dev, right? So inside dev SR0, right? And then where you have to mount, you have to mount on MNT folder, right? So once you will run enter, see what it say, no medium found. Okay, why it is showing no? Oh,
SR, is it what, 0?
SR0. Yeah, DVD got removed. That's why it's not showing, right? So once you will run this, see, warning, device write protected. It's mounted read only. See here, it's mounted read only. So by default, MNT folder was a blank folder. So now I have mounted, temporarily mounted our DVD inside this MNT folder. So once you will go here, and you will see inside MNT folder now, this time, you will see some data inside this. See, all this is a data inside where? Inside the MNT folder. See, MNT. All right. So
Yeah.
means simply you can understand, when you connect any device, you can use /mnt folder to mount it on a temporary basis. Okay.
Okay.
OPT folder, right? So next we have OPT folder here. This OPT folder also, when you do installation of operating system, by default you will find this OPT folder as a blank folder. And what is the use of this OPT folder? You have to, when you will install any third-party software like XAMPP or any other software, right? That software by default install inside OPT folder. OPT means optional, right? Optional. Okay.
Okay.
So next folder we have called sbin, right? So sbin stores system related commands, right? System, this one. Sbin related system related commands here. Here, right? So if we'll run, all right, fdisk, fdisk disk. See, it will be run by a root user. So if we run which fdisk, see what it is saying. Fdisk inside local usr bin which f. Sorry, it's a command disk. This is the command, right? So see where it is inside USR has been. So I told you, if you run any command, system related command, if you will not find inside has been, you will find USR has been, right? Out of these two directory, you will find that command, right? And just like IP table, which IP table? See, this command is also inside the ASP. So it's related to system executable. Means you can say, see, it can be used for the maintenance purpose, right? Maintenance purpose, just like fdisk, ipconfig, swap on, all this command you will, all right, fine. Swap on, which swap on, see, all these are inside the sbin folder, right?
Yeah.
SRV, all right, /SRV. See, this SRV is also by default a blank folder. But when you install any software, means some kind of software related to version and all, you can store here also, all right? Next is TMP folder, right? So if you can go TMP folder, inside this, see, all this is a temporary folder, right? All this is a temporary. When you will start working, some temporary files will be created inside this. If you will delete all these files, there will be no impact on the system or server. But by default, it creates some, temporary file. Let's suppose, how many files is there currently? We have, how many files and folders we have? See, we have 9, 7 folders selected, and total 5 item, 9 other items selected. So what is total is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 16. All right, it's a 16 folders, file and folders. All right, total. So let's suppose I'm just going to start here a browser. See, once I will access the browser, some file will be created inside directory, right? See, extra files created, right? All right. So when you will start or do anything, some temporary files will be created to run any program. So that temporary files will be created inside TMP folder. TMP means temporary. All right.
Okay.
It's a temporary. Again, USR folder contain that command essential, user, bin, USR, bin, right? So the same thing, bin and USR bin, SBin and USR SBin. Both are stored related to users and system executables, like this. If we run here on command /bin folder, see, cat, jetcat, all this is a commands. Whatever command you run on the terminal, right, that command will be stored inside this two three directories, right? /usr, one is bin, second is usr bin, and third one is usr local bin. All three directories there, right, where you can store the normal commands, and at the same time you can use sbin, right, ls, usr sbin, like this, and usr local sbin, right? So you will get three directories where you can store system related binaries. Okay. Proc. So proc is related to you can say the virtual provide the kernel information, system information. Like if you want to know the system, how many CPU are connected to my system, so you can see cat etc proc CPU info. See, this file store the CPU information, means how much CPU I have in my system. So how I can identify processor 1 and processor 0, means I have 2 CPU on my system. If you have, let's suppose, 10 CPU, so your count will start from 0 to 9. If you will have a 16 CPU, your count will start from 0 to 15, right? So you can simply see, okay, how much CPU I have. You can check inside CPU info, and then if you want to check the memory, you can use mem info, right? So all this information you can see inside the proc related to, see, CPU info, state, swaps, all this there information is stored inside this proc directory. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So this is how basically you can navigate the operating system, right? Operating system inside the Linux. So understand all the file system architecture in the Linux.
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand, because if you have any question, you ask me, right? And make sure you just revise this and you understand the concept of operating system. So extra thing, we discuss this for Red Hat, right? So when you will work on any Linux flavor, right? So I told you in last class what is the flavor. So in Linux, so many flavor is there, right? So flavor means other Linux system, right? Except Red Hat. Red Hat, you can say Red Hat is the boss, right? Except that Red Hat, other system is also there, just like Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Kali Linux, CentOS, Rocky Linux. All this is a flavor of Linux. Understand?
Yeah.
So you cannot count how many flavors is available in the market currently. Why? Because Linux is a open source. Linux
Yeah.
open source. So every time, every month, someone create some new version of Linux. You can also create your own version of Linux, right? Because it is open source, so anyone can modify. But some flavor like some favorite companies or some famous companies created their own operating system that also come under the flavored Linux. So if anyone will talk, means they are talking about the Red Hat. So if you know how to operate the Red Hat, you can easily operate other flavor of Linux like Ubuntu, Kali Linux, like AWS have Amazon Linux, Oracle have Oracle Linux, right? All this you can easily operate and just like use it. Okay.
Okay.
So any doubt or any question in the file system?
Uh, I think I'll go over
Yeah,
like
you have to go over and you don't
yeah.
have to worry about much because it's a, it's a first class of about the file system. When we will work on the daily basis and when you will start exploring other things, you will understand all this file system. But you have to make a note of this and make sure you create your own document, right? Related to file system. So what is stored, what, and you can also go through that official books, right? You will also find out the some information about that file system in the in Linux, right? So file
Yeah.
system hierarchy and all. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
great. So let me, so now see, this is a graphical mode. So when you will install graphical mode, you will see. But let me tell you very clearly, when you will go with the server version, right? This is also server. This is also server. There is no difference between this and any server, right? But when you will go in a production environment and a server version, you don't have to install this graphical means desktop. You don't have to install this desktop mode in a graphical mode, right? You will
Mm-hmm.
find only this black guy, this one, right?
Yeah.
You will find, and also when you install your server, you will find by default you will find some terminal mode, command line mode, and graphical mode. So let's, now we have booted with the graphical mode. Let's suppose if you want to go on the just like a virtual mode in, or you cannot TTY means command mode. So again, you can go with that. So how you can go inside keyboard? Here you can press. Let's suppose if you want to restart, you can press Control Alt Delete. Once you will press Control Alt Delete in the Linux system on terminal, it will be rebooted, right? It will be rebooted, right? So when you will press F1, right? So see what will happen. Uh, function, it's a virtual, so it's not working properly. Alt F1. Okay, in in normal system that work properly, but here it's not. Enter the command, it's not working properly here. Let me check how we can go. Oh, soft keyboard. Okay, F1, F2. Sorry. It's a it's not working properly. So maybe it's in we are in the virtual host, so that's why it's not working. But let me run the command and go there. I need 3. See, it's converted, right? Now that graphics mode gone. All right. So this is the you can say a TTY on by default 6 TTY you will get, right? Means if you will press F1, F2, F3, F4, you will find all this. But when you will press F5, you will just go on graphical mode, right? Here. So here how you will log in? You can log in under here root, and then you can give a password to log in on the terminal. See, this is also your server, but here we don't have installed the graphical mode. So right now graphical mode is there. So if we want, we can just switch from here to, we can switch on that window again. If I want to go on the graphical mode, again, we have to run that start X command, right? That command we will run, then you will get the graphical mode. But if you want to use that, you can use it, right? But when you will install the server mode, you will not get this graphical mode. Why people not install the graphical mode? Because when you will install the graphical mode, it installs so many extra packages on the server, right? And that is unnecessary because you will not log in on the server graphically on the server side, right? Because monitor is not connected on that. If we talk about the real environment, you will not get the monitor connected on the server. You will have to access that through putty or SSH only. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.